seconds, we're going live. What's going on, everybody? We had a little technical issue this morning, but we are live right now. Welcome to the Tidbit Thursday with RE Solutions, and today we do have a guest with us, one of the lenders that Denise and Belinda use quite a bit. Obviously, I have not used her because I have worked property management, but this is our go-to lender right now. So we're just going to be talking about some lender questions today. They're going to be putting Carrie on the spot here. So just want to introduce you to Carrie Brady.
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here today. I've worked with Belinda and Denise for several years now, and I'm a part of Fairway, the Wood Group here in San Antonio. Our office is located in San Antonio, and we are a husband and wife team. I work with my husband, Dalen Brady, and between the two of us, we have 41 years of experience in this market. So we're a book of information, and with a fast-moving market, you need someone who knows what we're doing and what's the process to get started on a home loan.
Awesome. So you're the face of the company because Dalen's not around.
Correct.
Told them to keep working. I got all the marketing stuff.
Absolutely.
That's fine. So yeah. So as far as this Tidbit Thursday, just for you to know, Carrie, that we've started this probably a few months ago, and we're just throwing them out every week. Denise has a whole bunch of questions for you that we're going to throw out to you, and we're probably not going to get through all of them. But if we don't, then we will have you back on, and we will do another one. Then of course, this is going to be posted on our YouTube channel as well, and we'll send you the links and all that stuff. So should be
awesome.
Good to go.
Very good.
Y'all want to start?
Sure. So yes, like Pete said, Carrie is our top go-to lender. I always tell people, Carrie is focused, and I know that if she pre-approves you, they pre-approve you, that it's going to happen. I haven't had any deals fall apart. Thank God. So, yes. Yeah. So we'll just start from the beginning. So if a person is thinking of buying, but they know that it's going to be maybe a year from now, 6 months from now, because they're in a lease and, they just finally got the thought, maybe I should buy. What kind of things should they know? What should they do?
We get this asked quite a bit. People call us on a regular basis, just trying to figure out what their future holds for them. A year out, it's just trying to determine if they're on the right track for a year or what they need to do financially. Pre-approval is about income, assets, and credit. Determining those three items determines whether you can purchase a home now or in the future. So getting with a lender like us, we do a lot of pre-approvals for people who are not going to buy in the next 6 months to a year, but they want to know if they need to do anything with their credit. They want to know if their job stability is good, and they want to know how much money they need to save to be able to get into a house. And by knowing that up front in the very beginning, saves a lot of time, especially if they have some unique circumstances, job change, self-employed people in today's market. It's a little bit harder about what they need to do in the future. But those are the things that we're going to look at in the very beginning to find out if, what they want to do, what kind of house payment they want in the future. They can't worry at this moment about rates or complete cost or too much of the actual loan, just because a year away, everything could be changing for them or for us in our market. But a good time is to get with a lender and determine what you want to do in the future.
Awesome. Just FYI, I always go off the cuff, so I'll probably just jump in and ask some questions here and there. But as far as someone's credit, do you help out with that, or do you have someone that helps out with that?
We do. We at Fairway Mortgage, we've got a lot of resources for it. So we have two different options for them. Modern technology today is so great. Everybody coming to us pretty much has an idea what their credit is. They may think not, but between credit cards and Credit Karma and other things, it gives you an idea of what is on your credit. So we find that a lot of people already know what their credit looks like. At Fairway, we do offer a credit repair company that we use internally that we love. And then we have another way of getting your credit score up a little bit by telling you like pay down some debt and then you'll have a higher score. So we have a couple different ways depending on what the situation is when we pull credit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any questions?
Question, Belinda? No. Your turn. What's the next one?
All right,
then?
so Carrie, when they're ready to buy, like they're actively looking and they're ready to buy, we all know now in this market that they should be pre-approved. So when they come to you ready to buy, what should they have prepared when they have a conversation with you?
And they should just have prepared, their income, assets, employment information. I mean, pre-approval is the first step of trying to buy. And so they need their pay stubs and their W-2s and their bank statements, where their money's coming from, things like that. We'll pick it up once we do pre-approval. We'll pick it up for, how much you want to make in a monthly payment. The biggest thing is people come to us like, what's the max I qualify for? Like, what's the max you want to write a check for each month? They could be two different numbers, and people need to understand what that looks like. So they just need to be prepared for some honest conversation about finances. There's no hiding anything when we start digging into pre-approval. So they just need to be aware that we're gonna look at everything to make sure that when they get in the car or show a house with an agent, that their pre-approval, like Denise said, is great, and they're not going to have any issues once they go under contract on a house.
How's it working out with so many individuals, because of our market, so many individuals having to pay more than the asking price?
We see it a lot, and we've been through this with 2007, 2008, but we see a lot of people paying over appraised value. You're in a market trying to get under contract on a home. And then once you're under contract, the next thing, of course, are appraisals. And so we're kind of creative. I mean, a lot of people have their own money. We're seeing a lot of cash on the street, which is very unusual in the past year. But a lot of people have their own money where they're negotiating, contracts based off of that. We also have some creativity in-house, some down payment assistance, some other programs that will help with closing costs that maybe a buyer doesn't have. And so it's our job really to be like, okay, how much do you have over if you have to go over? So we want the whole picture, and we want them to know the whole picture.
So this is a question, and this is not kind of a lender question, but what are you hearing from buyers? Where is this extra money coming from? Because just last year, like pre-COVID, I mean, we were seeing buyers who didn't even have closing costs, and we were asking sellers for closing costs. And now all of a sudden, it seems like so many people have 10, 20, 30, 40,000
Probably
extra.
save money from not going out.
Well, so I wanted to know, what are people telling you? Because we're telling people on our Tidbit Thursdays that, this is the market trend. What are people telling you?
We're seeing a lot of people pull from 401ks. We're seeing a lot of people who have sold their home, obviously at an inflated price themselves, so selling a house and making extra money. And then we're seeing a lot of family gifts. We're seeing a lot of buyers getting gifts. Maybe they're honing in on their inheritance down the road, but we see a lot of gifts coming from families. But that's the majority of it. If they have overage, that's where the money's coming from.
Wow.
Okay. So another question off the cuff here. 2008, because you referenced 2008. And now there's obviously the lending industry has changed. The mortgage industry has changed quite a bit. And we've had some clients that have gotten upset because they seem like they think that they're being
we're delving too much
too much into their personal stuff, or it's intrusion or whatever. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Because I know that the lending industry right now is a lot more meticulous than it was before, for good reason. But
Right.
these individuals don't understand that.
They don't. And so, people who hadn't lived through the 2007, 2008 crash, they don't understand. Why are we asking for so much information? But being in that business, before 2007, 2008, there were not the laws that are in place because of what happened then. So there's so many new laws, there's so many new guidelines, there's so many speculations about, what do we need and how much do we want to get from the customer. But I always ask the customer, if I get someone who tells me they don't, why do you need all that? I'm like, what would you ask if you were going to write a check, your personal check for $300,000? You have to think about, what would you ask someone that you're going to give $300,000 to? And it might be down to DNA and fingerprints at that stage if it was. It does have to wrap their mind around everything. And I do tell people in the very beginning, and I know Dalen does too, DNA and fingerprints would be the last possible thing. Everything up to that point we could ask for. And if they're open to that, then the process is smooth. If I have someone who's like, I don't want to give you my bank statement, or we have some people who, black out account numbers, and it just slows us down. And so they just have to conform to, I want to borrow money, this is what I need to do.
So do y'all have like an educational thing to give to these buyers to let them know what the difference was? I mean, because individuals that purchased, prior to 2008, they obviously their loans probably went through pretty quick, and now it's a little bit different. Do you have any kind of education material or anything that kind of shows the differences?
No, we really don't. It's conversation. People who bought before 2007 and 2008 will come to us and say, I've bought before, and we just reassure them it has completely changed from that market. And we do get a lot of that. A lot of the older home buyers who have bought previously, they will tell us, like, I wasn't asked for that before, but it's just reassuring. We're just reassuring this is what we need to do to lend you money. And at that point, they're fine. I mean, we don't run into too many problems where people are like, I'm not giving you this document. And so it's a conversation. I think communication is key in the lending process anyway. If you're not communicating with buyers, then they are lost.
Right.
And so we thrive on communication from pre-approval all the way to closing.
That's one of the things I love about your team, is that communication and education. And so with that, from start to finish, about how long should the loan process take?
Because we fully pre-approve our buyers coming through the door in the beginning, we're halfway done with the process before they even go under contract. And so we're turning 27, 21 days. It just depends on what kind of contract we get, at what speed do we have to go. And so in a contract, we may be seeing, someone offer 27 days or 25 days. And I can tell you, if that contract comes in like that, we're moving at a fast pace. That's what we do. We just accommodate to what the contracts look like.
Carrie, does it matter what type of loan for that time frame? Is it a VA, FHA, conventional? Obviously cash, not so much, but the rest of those things, is there a big difference between those different programs for the wait time and lag time?
The only program out there that probably is the lag is USDA, just because you have to go to USDA for final approval. But the other VA, FHA, and conventional, no, they can be closed pretty quickly. It's the upfront work that we do before contract that allows us to step into a contract on day one and get everything moving.
It's good to know.
Yeah, and I can attest that they usually close.
Oh yeah.
Like at least a few days before, and I think I jinxed it once when I said, oh, they're gonna be fine, and then there was but
we never say that. We're not done until we're done. So when we're funded, then we're funded.
Yeah.
I know my contracts with you have never been held up for anything on the loan process. It's either been like an appraisal, or maybe they took a little bit longer with repairs, but
Snowpocalypse.
Right. Yes.
So-
But appraisals. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. The appraisal, go ahead.
Appraisals are, if you're on social media, if you're hearing from agents, the appraisal process right now is a little tedious. I do have a few appraisers on my feed, so I'm not talking to y'all. But there's very few appraisers for the amount of work that is out there. So they have to be selective, and they have to do a lot more paperwork than they had to years ago. So it's just a matter of, being on track, ordering it as fast as you can, and getting the timing done to meet your contract dates.
So let's go ahead and do a quick just overview of the lending process itself for those individuals that don't know anything about it. Because a lot of people think, well, I'll go to a lender, they're just going to check my credit and they're going to either approve me or not approve me. What does the lender actually do step by step?
So our process, although I think there's several that have the same process, but very few and far between. Our process is a conversation. Once you know that you're ready to buy a home or thinking about buying a home, it's giving us a phone call. We talk over the phone. We do an application to get you pre-approved. We pull credit. If credit is good, we go on to documents, pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements. With technology, they're all uploaded, so it's pretty simple to get us everything we need within a 24-hour period. And then once you got all the information and we reviewed it and everything, we issue pre-approvals on them to tell you how much your payment should be, how much money you need, and what sales price you're looking for. And at that point, you're free to go. So this process is a 24-hour window for someone who, really wants to get out there and start looking at houses. But I always recommend doing it before they actually start looking at houses.
Right.
So we do get the occasional phone call on a Saturday night that says, hey, I saw this house today. I haven't been pre-approved. I want to get pre-approved so I can make an offer tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, well, how did someone show you a house without a pre-approval? I don't know. It does happen. The market moves fast and they want to do it. So it's one of those. But again, 24 hours for a good pre-approval. Go find a house, and we'll help work on, helping getting you under contract is the next step for that.
And so, because I know when one of my clients get pre-approved through you, I know that it's gold, So what is the difference between, why is it that your pre-approvals tend to be almost 100% versus another lender who may give us a pre-approval and then, oops, no, later on we find out, no, they really don't qualify. What's the difference?
We do a lot of the work. We've got the experience behind us. Dalen and I have been doing this for a very long time. So we know what we're looking for on it, but we do a lot of the legwork up front where some may not. And so if we're getting pay stubs and verification of employments and everything up front, then that's what we would do after contract. Some people do after contract, but if we do it up front, then we know if that person really has been working for 2 years, if their income is really in check. We just do everything up front.
Okay.
How long I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, how long is a pre-approval good for?
I like to say 120 days. But, we tell people if they're going to change employment, if you're going to change credit, during that process, that will change it. So communicating that to the clients at pre-approval time. We'll get phone calls throughout the next, few months from people that say, hey, I'm going to change a job, or I'm going to go buy some furniture. And just depending on where they are, if in the house buying, we'll say yes, no, don't do it, But our biggest asset is that our agents that work with us, they're on the street with these clients, and when they see them roll up with a brand new car, I think a lot of y'all will say, did you tell your loan officer that? I get those phone calls too, and I'm like, no, they didn't tell us. So it's just keeping up with them.
I know I've texted you on Saturday. They're gonna buy a fridge. Is that okay?
You're like, do it.
Yeah.
I'd rather take those phone calls and find out later that something happened on the pre-approval that we didn't know about until they went under contract. So it's just keeping up with buyers and communicating with them on a regular basis.
I know when I talk to a new buyer, that's one of the things that I stress to them. I'm like, okay, now that you're serious about this, you don't do anything with your money unless you talk to Carrie and Dalen first.
Right.
Because I know that a simple thing can make them not qualify. So yeah.
Good. And people changing jobs, they don't have, sometimes it doesn't affect them in any way. They just want to double check to make sure it doesn't. So that's what we're good for, as well as that communication.
Right. Okay. Well, it's 20 minutes, so we can go ahead and
Start wrapping it up.
Yes.
We didn't talk about the different loan products.
we haven't. There's a lot of things we haven't talked about. It's okay. We just barely got through the first loans. It's a big topic, and I'm glad we're doing this because sometimes when we lose buyers, I feel like it's because they don't have that education piece and they really don't understand what they're getting into. So this is great because now I'll have a link to send to my buyers, like, start watching this. Let me know if you have any questions, you know? So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'd love to make time with you and talk to you about the different loan products and how that will impact it.
Get you on here again.
Absolutely.
I do want to say that I want to plug in Homes for Heroes.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, because we are all Homes for Heroes. Well, we'll say the team is Homes for Heroes
Mostly
affiliates. For those individuals that don't know what Homes for Heroes are, is a program for nurses, doctors, medical personnel,
First responders, police, firefighters,
military.
There you go.
And teachers. Don't forget teachers.
And teachers. Basically, it's a program that gives you a rebate, cash money back at the end of your closing of purchasing or selling a property or refinancing a property. And that usually comes out of our commission. But Carrie and Dalen are also Home for Heroes affiliates on the mortgage side. So how does that work real quick?
We rebate $500. It usually covers the appraisal cost at closing time. So one of your fees, it goes against that and when we close.
Awesome.
Nice.
So
All right.
yeah. So we try to, focus our affiliates to Homes for Heroes individuals as well. So anybody that can help us out with helping that program is awesome. So any last questions, comments?
No, it's great. Thank you for expanding my knowledge on everything that we discussed today. And I look forward to actually having you back out because there's a bunch more questions, but I don't want to run over the 20 minutes. So.
We're over the 20 minutes.
I appreciate that. You know where to find me.
Yes.
Cool. And yeah, I'll probably have a lot of questions too, because I've been a realtor now for close to 9 years or over 9 years, and I haven't done one sale yet. I've just been doing property management. Yeah. So Denise is training me, and it's kind of, when you have your spouse training you,
It is. I suggest you call Dalen then with your questions.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you for having
me so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say hi.
I will. Thank you so much.
Me too.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye. All right, folks. So Carrie Brady with the Wood Group of Fairway. They're your mortgage people. So our mortgage people. So those are the individuals that we'll probably refer you to if you're thinking of buying a home and you need a mortgage. So contact us.
We'll make sure we'll put a link for them also down on YouTube.
Yes.
That way you can go straight to their website.
Yep. So we'll put a link on there. Obviously, this is being posted on Facebook. It's going to be posted on YouTube. Like us, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And we will see you next week for next week's Tidbit Thursday.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.